Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. How's your day? How's everything where you are? Hope everything's okay. But sit down. We're going to get into as much news as we can today about what's going to happen, what's happening, what's going on around the world in the UFO world. So any questions, please go into the chat room, put a question in there. Come online. I put the link out there if you wanted to come on the show as well. Please do. We got room for a couple more people. So starting with that, let me say I'm here on the Big Island, and it's a lot going on here. We'll get into that later, but I'll give it over to my co-host, Tina. Greetings. Say hello.
Hello, Tommy, and hello, everyone in Hawaii and around the world and in the States who is listening to this tonight. Greetings from here. I'm in Southampton in the UK tonight, and I'm Tina Bird, E.T. Gowan. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and things like that. So this week, our show is called All UFO News Now. But is there anything you wanted to say before we start, or are we just going to
go right into it? Whatever you want to start.
So this week is going to be about different news. Me and Tommy's decided to talk about different news rather than one subject, and we kind of get into it. And then Tommy's taking a call right now. So that's okay. So this week is more meteor news. So we've been having the last few months, it's been fireballs and different meteor showers, but we've had continuous meteors and fireballs since January. It's kind of like getting worse and worse and worse. But this week, so we're still in mainly in the northern hemisphere. That's what I've been concentrating on. But there's a bit of news popped up yesterday. That an asteroid from the asteroid belt, so they found the origin, actually crash landed in Botswana this week. So they've recovered a piece of this asteroid, tested it, and it's actually come from the asteroid belt. So that's been fascinating. But Botswana is like just in the southern hemisphere now, isn't it? It's just in Africa. It's just below the equator, isn't it? So not sure if it's to do with the turning in the seasons, because I know the world turns on different kind of axis. So perhaps it's just missing the northern hemisphere and now striking the top of the southern hemisphere. But Botswana received a asteroid and they recovered it. So looking forward to any more news, but it was just part of the asteroid belt. So I was wondering if anyone out there, an astronomer, could tell me if there has been a bump or a big knock in the asteroid belt recently, because of all the chunks and everything. I know Jupiter suffered a massive hit not long ago. That was well advertised, but that would be handy to know. And also, does a Mars rover pick up asteroids in the stratosphere or atmosphere that are streaking past Mars to hit Earth? Because they've got loads of like the probes and things like that, and now helicopters that has been released in photographs. It'd be interesting to know if they had sightings or any pictures from the moon.
On the news last night, they said last night was the last biggest wave of meteor showers coming to us right now. I wasn't able to see the sky. It was cloudy where I was. So if you had a clear night, you would have saw a lot of things coming through the sky. It was the biggest wave out of the whole meteor showers since it started. So, but it's probably going to start getting less and less now every night. But I don't follow comets, meteorites. I mean, they're cool to look at. What I'm working on, I'm getting the program. I'm put all my videos together of all the UFOs I shot and every other thing I shot. Put it together, make either a half hour or an hour video. Put it all together and put it up online. Now, I can't use some of the pictures we shot when I was with my friend because he copyrighted everything. But I will put as much as I can of what I shot and the videos that I have been shooting here in Hawaii. So, is that him? Who's on there? Greetings.
The Russian. Come on. Hello, the Russian. Sasha, it's Sasha. I have milk in the tea. Yes, I do. So it's that English breakfast tea with milk and granulated sugar.
All right. So if we have any guests want to come on, please do. We got room for about 8 more people. But for me personally, I've been working on a lookout tower out my window. It's
Yeah, you
just
said,
about
how's
done.
that come in?
It's just about done. I'm gonna raise it a little bit higher so I could actually see over the whole roof. So I mean, I got a perfect circular view. I mean, I still want to go down to the ocean, but it's still been raining and cloudy. We're changing weather now. We're starting to go into the summer weather, I hope, which means it might stop raining all the time. But we'll see. Who knows how the weather's going here? It's been pretty crazy lately. We had rain for the past 4 months.
Sasha
Cloudy
can't get the link. He said, can you send him the link over Skype?
I thought I sent it to him. I thought I just sent it to you a couple of minutes ago.
Try resending it. Oh, there you go. So on a note, Tommy, with you doing your decking and getting it, I think we should have like a celebratory night of when you finish it, get it together, because 34 days, as Tommy's pointed out every episode, guys, 34 days from tonight is when the US supposedly release all of their UFOs files, which I very much highly doubt. I don't know what people are going to be expecting from this, but I think we should have a countdown, Tommy, a little countdown in the screen of how many days and nights. I think it's 34 days today when the US are going to release it on 1st of June. So we're hoping. Sasha, hello.
Yes,
Hey,
hi, Tommy.
Sasha.
Hi, Tina. How are you guys?
All right.
We're good.
Glad you were able to make it.
Yes. No, I couldn't because you only sent the YouTube link. I didn't get the StreamYard link.
He sent me the YouTube link as well. I got that as well.
No, I told you to send that to everybody else you know to get them to listen to the show.
No, it was underneath that.
I posted a YouTube link on my account, so we'll see who's got the balls to come on.
Well, very few people out there have any balls, so I don't expect too many people to jump up for a debate or to talk. But let's get this rolling. Now, there's so many things happening in the next month or two. There's a bunch of UFO conferences coming up. And I have a little bit of different agreement than Tina about this. And this is my viewpoint, not hers. 99% of those speakers out in the UFO world are full of garbage. They got nothing important to say, no truth, and no proof. So with that, they're putting movies out. They're going to put out comic books and everything else. Like, we really need to hear that stuff. I just saw somebody put a link up. I just sent them a nasty letter again. Not nasty, but just saying, okay, where's your proof on that? So these people keep saying these things. Now, the whole idea that all these people went missing, we'll bring that up. I mean, there's a whole couple things that you might want to hear that people said. You can say anything you want. When Stephen Greer, he spent a year with a fake alien telling everybody it was a real Munchkin alien. And it wasn't. It was just a cell, some kind of defective part of a human. So when he claimed it was an alien, it was another story that he wanted to build his ego up with. But these people come out with stories. Now, Corey Good's movie, I don't know if it's out or not. The movie might be good, but whether the story is real or not is a different story. And when they come out, these UFO conferences, now they're going over what happened a long time ago. Well, Sean David Martin's a good friend of mine. He's trying to recover from dying. So if he gets healthy enough, I'm going to be doing a show with him. I mean, he needs his own show because he has more truth, more information than anybody else in the UFO world. I'm not saying that the abduction part. No, that's Tina's thing. But as far as knowing what happened with Area 51, because he discovered it and brought people there when the ships were landing there and everything in between that, he was good friends with Fred Bell. He kind of was like his uncle. And then his other uncle went to around the moon and things like that. So there's a lot more information that we could bring out. I hope he recovers. He's in recovery mode, trying to get all these operations. They're treating him with radiation. His whole arms burnt and stuff. He's going through a horrible thing, especially what they did to him in prison. So, I mean, if I ever get him to come on to talk about it, it'd be great. But like right now, he's in all kinds of treatments and stuff like that. But getting back to the point now, me personally, I shot so many videos here I sent them to a friend of mine who's been putting stuff online for 20 years. And all his stuff is incredible, even though people say it's fake. I know it's not. He's got one of the top telescopes in the world, personally owned one. All right. And he films UFOs over the White House. He's been doing that for years. And he puts all his stuff up. He's been telling me to put my stuff up. He goes, my stuff's really good. I said, well, I'm going to put it all together. I'm putting it all together. So when I make this video, which I'm hoping to do it real soon, I'm going to make it, put all my videos together. They're all going to be short. I mean, when I see UFO and stuff, they don't stay there for a long period of time. Not anymore. When I was hanging out with somebody I used to do all my UFO with, we used to see things for a longer period of time. Things are just cruising by pretty fast right now. When I was younger, I saw things for a longer period of time as well. So for me, I just said to somebody, as you get old, time speeds up. And the more you can do in a time frame goes less and less every day. It's
Hold on. You haven't got 2 clocks in your room, have you? Your name's not Einstein, is it? Time only goes quicker outside the world, Tommy, not inside the world. It's relativity to point, distance, and viewpoint, isn't it?
Well, when you get older, you start looking at things so different. So I consider myself old. I mean, people say they're 90 and they're old, but they're way too old.
I can't believe you said that. That's so ageist.
What was that? What?
That's ageist. You can't say that.
I could say anything about anything over 80 is super old, decrepited by the time you're 90. When you're 100.
I mean, it's true, but the funny thing is, we're all going to get there.
No, we're not all going to get there. Very few people are going to get there.
Okay, well, I hope I don't make it. Like, I'll be happy just to reach 60, and I can kick the bucket.
Yeah, could you turn your mic up just a little bit more if you can?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing. The oldest person died last week. They were 116. Now, one of the guys from the Pearl Harbor just died yesterday. He was 10-something. 100, you're pretty well out of it. When you go into the 15, 10, you're way out of it. And the sad part is you get to see part of your family die.
Yeah.
The older you live, the longer you live, the more of your family you're going to see disappear. Yeah. If you like to stick around being an old person watching your children die, you got a problem. With all the pills they were trying to invent to get you 40 more years of life and things like that. People are so brain dead at every level. Sorry, people. If you ever cared about what was important. Do you have a clue what's important? Do you even have an idea what is important? I know me and Tina probably have a different viewpoint on that as well. But I know Sasha's closer to my viewpoint on that every which way.
Yeah, throw me under the bus.
No, you're riding the bus with me.
Hold on. You just said you wanted to kick the bucket, mate. You ain't got a choice in this.
Yeah, that's funny. No, is the audio better? I changed my audio setting.
Yes, you did. It's better. Definitely better. Because we can barely hear you.
Okay.
So, again, age is critical right now because if you're going on a picket line, you're going to march and all those things, the older you get, the harder it becomes. So when you try to get involved when you're 90 or 100, see how active you become. I'm on TV now. Okay, now what are you going to do? Do a Irish tea?
That's why it's important to stay active and exercise, as much as you can, every single day.
I exercise as much as I can, and I still can't actually get to tie my shoes. It's really bizarre. I mean, I'm taking every vitamin there is. I walk about 3 or 4 miles a day. I exercise every morning, and I'm still getting old. My bones are.
Yeah.
So, but don't forget, the government wants that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's in your food, everything that's in your air is to help you get less human.
At least what I can hope, well, I don't know about that because there are a few elderly people that's been abducted, I believe. But what would aliens want with old decrepit members of society? I think the older you are, the less likely it is you're going to become abducted. Well, I hope that's the case.
They could use you to create a fire to cook the people that they're eating.
Well, they're eating us raw.
Instead of cooking you and having you for dinner. People, now, this is something you might not want to hear, and I'm going to just say it. You need to wake up because all these UFO people and their stupid stories, they don't talk about And it's always, I think. Richard Dolan and people like that go, well, I think. Who cares what you think? If you have any proof of anything you say. Bill Snyder is one of the second most important stories in the whole UFO world. If they don't even know what that is, they don't need to be talking in the UFO world. Because they discovered 140,000 skeletons in there that the aliens were eating. So they do eat people, whether you want to hear it or not. There's a lot of facts out there. And all these people that disappear, where are they going? I mean, for the president to come out and release anything, Trump didn't. But now he's telling the government that they have to. So in a month and a couple of weeks, it's supposed to happen. All right. What are they going to release? They're going to release another bull story to the world. How much are they going to release? If they release one UFO, a real UFO, and show it, I think that'll be a miracle.
So, can you tell me what type of UFO declassification is going to happen? Is it military, or is it public UFOs, or just
they can't release public UFOs because they didn't see them. They can only release military videos, which is what they shot. Now, they released one supposedly. I can't prove it either way. They said this was released by the government last week. It's a fake UFO video. All right. They put it up and said, oh, somebody said this is released from the government. It's a fake video. So if it was released from the government, it's a fake video as well.
Yeah.
The technology that they use and what they use to film is not the way that film was put together. So the Tic Tac that they released is useless. It doesn't prove anything other than there's a dot flying around in circles up there. I mean, it doesn't show what kind of ship it was or anything like that, which is much more important. So when they release this information, if they release one actual footage of a real UFO, all right, it will be an eye-opener for people. If they show 10 more Tic Tacs, it's not going to help nothing. Even if they put 100 Tic Tacs out there, it's like opening up a candy and dumping out your Tic Tacs.
I think it is what you say, Tommy. I've put photographs up now and video. I even captured video of some, and I've taken them all, most of mine down. You've got so many haters and so many people that are like, I've taken all mine down. I'm going to continue to take photographs, but I'm not going to put them online anymore. I mean, there are like different Tic Tacs. There are ships with blue and green things shooting out the bottom of them, and lights and triangles and dots in the sky. People either think they make it up or they're not going out there. I just can't be doing with it. You get more disinformation from people in the ufology, and people say that they're true believers. Well, they're not. All they want to do is wait till you post something in their group and tear you down, saying it's nothing to do with them, and 2 minutes later they're posting crap about stuff that's been made up and think it's the best thing since toast, instead of actually looking at the stuff that's actually real.
Somebody's got a tab open. I got double audio.
Yeah, we've had that. Or we've been trying to fix that.
I have no clue.
Mine's muted. So.
Well,
hold on. Let me turn my sound down. Hold on.
I'm sure it's coming from my end somehow, and I don't know what I can do.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Nope. No more echo.
Did you hear me though?
Let me just try.
Yeah, whatever you did, Tina, that fixed it because I didn't hear any echoes.
Tina didn't do anything. I did.
Well,
I just turned my sound up and down.
Oh, there's more echoes now.
Tina, talk.
Hello.
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 Is it my end? Because
Yes.
I've got nothing open.
It's only your echo that's coming from. Well, it can hear me through yours.
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Well, let's not worry about that. Let's try to get through the show no matter what and get some information out there for these people.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when the government releases this stuff, which will be in about a month and a week or so, whatever they release, realize everybody's going to jump on that. All the UFO people are going to attack it and use it and say this. And if they're showing this, there's this much. Yeah, there's going to be tons of information they cannot release.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what person would realize that if you're an army and you got all these secret weapons, let's go show the world what we got. Are you going to do that? You never show your enemy what you have. And if you think the United States is going to show Russia and China what they have and what they're using, take another guess. And I think they should tell public people, because every person, especially these UFO people, would be the first to put it all over the world. Michael Salla from Hawaii, all he does is attack the U.S. government. Every book he writes is about what the government does. I'm surprised the government doesn't can him. Seriously. And I told him, go back to Australia. I said, Australia has the biggest army base on the planet. And he should be talking about that if he wants to talk about a base. Go ahead, Sasha.
I was going to say, don't jinx it. We might read his death in the news tomorrow or something.
Well, I hope the government watches him and listens to him, because they kill other people for no reason. People putting the truth out there. John Ford is still in the nut house. He shot the best video of a UFO crash. The best video, and I saw it. Nobody's video comes close to that, all right? So he has 4 copies around the world. They get released if he dies. They don't get released if he doesn't die. So they're keeping him in the nut house alive. He was supposed to go to trial for the past 4 years. The government keeps coming in, oh, we have to reevaluate him for another year. The state wants him to go to court because they said he had a barrel of uranium. A barrel, not a test tube or anything. A barrel of uranium.
I don't think the military could get their hands on that.
I know. Then he was going to put it in toothpaste to kill people in Congress. Walk around with a test tube of uranium and stick it in people's toothpaste. Really? How in the world are you going to do that without dying? I mean, Tina, you're radioactive and you don't even have any. So this guy is walking around with it in a barrel in front of his house. I mean, that was put on New York and New Jersey TV when they arrested him.
I don't know how to bought the barrels to sell it.
It was the week after a friend of mine and we were on a show called Strange Universe, and that was taken off the air the following week as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they covered that whole thing up the best they could. So again, people, you better start listening and finding the truth. And I'm telling you, if you listen to our show, we don't put stories up there. We're not making it up, and we're not making money off of people. See that little red light? That means Tina's radioactive.
No, this one is hold it away. It's 0 at the moment. It's there at the top. So when I was a get closer, it's actually electrical magnetical field. It's the EMF, the electrical magnetical field today.
Well, you don't have much of a field right now. Well, once in a while she's radioactive. That's all I'll say on that. She's not radioactive. She'll probably be radioactive halfway through the show, which is impossible, but we'll see. So, Sasha, what was that?
140, did you see that?
140.
What the? That's bad.
That's bad. I'll get mine out later. But let's get into this idea of where we're going to get our information from. There's about 100 main speakers out there mainstream. I write a letter to everyone I can almost every other day and say, look, you want to debate your truth, come on my show, I'll come on yours, or let's do it offline. Just give me a call so I can talk to you about your so-called truth. Now, nobody will take me up on that because they can't. They got no proof, and they created this story, like all these experiences, the other word that they use now, wake up in their bed, sit on the side of the bed, and they come up with this great experience of being on ships and traveling the universe and all these things. Not one person ever came out with anything in their hand for facts or real videos of what was going on. Now,
actually, there is one gentleman. I've just checked everything my end and nothing. I'm sorry about the sound. There was one gentleman who lived next to an American army base, and they were sent out. What's the CIA guy? Richard Doherty. Doherty. That's it. Yeah, he was sent out to investigate. He went out to investigate this Polish gentleman who used to work for the American. He was a photographer. He retired from the army, I believe. And he lived next to this base, literally near a proving ground, right next to the proving ground. Anyway, he was there on this base, and he contacted the military to say that he had all this UFO stuff. What do they want to do with it? They went there, and he gave them artifacts, pictures, photographs. This craft used to land outside the base, not far from where he lived, and he went out and took pictures for many years, not just one or two, over many, many years. And he actually managed to get pictures of inside the craft. And they said to him, "Why are you giving us this now?" He said, "Because I'm dying." And they took boxes and boxes of artifacts and stuff. These creatures, they said, "We're going now," and they gave him this thing they described on this interview, and they took it all. That's solid evidence the government has taken away from one of their ex-employees over many years, and so they do. So I'm hoping that is going to be released on the 1st of and again, the Lear interview to watch today. It's an old one. Is it John Lear? I'm not quite sure. His father made the Lear jets, and his interview he gave about, like Tommy said earlier, there were 70 to 90,000 missing people, and they said that on one of these bases he was on, they had human subjects under in one of these underground bases of the people, that human beings that were being held there, all these missing thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that they kept underground. They were either used for breeding programs, mine programs, or whatever they were being used for. So Tommy's right to a degree. All these hundreds of thousands of people just in one area, they go missing every year for a few years. 90,000 people. Well, hold on, surely if that amount of people went missing, you'd have 90,000 bodies stacked up around a couple of states. No bodies have ever been found of these missing people, surely, and that's just in one area. So if these people have been seen underground in one of these bases in the late 1980s, early 1990s, then again, if you have 90 or 100 or 33,000 people in one state go missing in 1 year, as i.e. Alaska, you'd have 33,000 bodies in one state stacked up. Where are the bodies? Sasha, it's me and you, darling.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize.
He's had to pop off for a second or two. Oh, he's back now. So what would you say to all of these people being held, screaming for help, apparently, in these cages? They're being used for mind control experiments and God knows what.
Tommy was like, "Forget this, I'm out."
No.
Well, if they're not going to prepare to help those people, then there's no hope for the human race now. I can tell you that.
Well, like you said a while ago, why should you pay for protection when you don't get it?
Yeah.
Now, these people that go to parks, camping with their family, people that go on a picnic and things like that, and they disappear. The parks don't release that information, don't have to, and they should be forced to. And they should put lists out there of people disappearing and things like that. Because, there's multiple ways a person could disappear in a park. One is an animal, but that's very vague. When a car pulls up for a person to step behind the car and disappear. No animal's going to scarf up a person, eat it, or take it away that fast. All right? And they would have heard it and saw it or see it. The second thing is, if there's spies there of some form, a cult group that kidnap people, that's a possibility as well. But
90,000 people. Sorry, Tommy.
They would have to be hiding, and they would have to have cars, and they would have to have all these other things to do that. So the fact that is, they just disappear. A family came out, they walked around the car, and the child was missing. There's no cliffs, they didn't fall off a cliff, and even that, if they fell off a cliff, their body would be at the bottom of the cliff. So all these little things, and there's a couple books out there if you want to read about it. There's couple people that did books on that, went around to all the parks, trying to get the information of how many people disappeared and things like that. There's cars left there. There's all those kind of things. You don't just run away from your car and leave a car there. So even that's not talked about. What's that?
Sorry.
But see, in the UFO world, they have to put information to make people happy. They'll throw a couple of little things in there, but they got to feed people information to make them feel good. Otherwise, why do they want to listen to what they're saying? So to make money, you got to make it so people want to come and hear what you have to say. But if you're telling them the truth, which is usually bad news, who wants to pay for that? The same as when these people go to a medium or a psychic to get information. They don't go there to hear that they're going to die tomorrow, their grandfather and mother's going to die next week, they're going to fall out of a plane or something stupid. They want to hear that they're going to get money, they're going to find a girlfriend, they're going to get a good job. They want to hear good things. It's called mind programming. And when these people in the UFO world tell a story, oh, we're going into the
That
sixth
gentleman there,
dimension.
David Politis, is it? He did that. Everyone should read that and look at his research.
Yeah. You need to follow the important information. Now, I'm going to say 2 books. Out of all the UFO books out there, all these big name speakers and their books and what they think and feel, even Ancient Aliens, all those people are storytellers. None of them actually even saw a UFO, was on a UFO, and things like that. So their stories are stories, what they believe in. Who cares what they believe in? So, I mean, 2 books I'm going to tell you to read if you can get them. And one's going to go back into print, Sands of Time by Sean David Martin. One of the most important stories of what happened over the past 60 years in the UFO world. Oh, not 60, maybe about 50 years. He's going to put out another part if he can get healthy and live. So the second book is Rays of Truth, Crystals of Light by Fred Bell. Now, he worked with Billy Myers closely. Some of Billy Myers' stuff is fake. I'm not saying it's not. Some of it wasn't. They brought him to California. And when he came to California, they saw UFOs over their hotel and things like that. So he's not completely fake. I mean, he did make a fake UFO and film it and stupid things to destroy his credibility. But he was working with a race that Fred Bell actually worked with. And Fred Bell created all these inventions from that. And his family's still selling it. But the day after he did a show with Jesse Ventura, he was killed and he was dead in the hotel room. So obviously he worked for the government and he was still killed right away. So when people come out with the truth, if a person releases important truth, they usually don't get to say it again. Phil Snyder was alive for 6 months after he got almost destroyed by the reptilian, the race, the Greys, when they blasted him with a beam. I mean,
yeah, that was a Delta Force, wasn't that Dulce?
But what they said though, he did it. He chopped his hand off. He slit his stomach open. And he blew his foot out. How do you blow your foot out? I mean, they said he was obviously you're going to say he's crazy and he was trying to commit suicide. No, that's not the way you commit suicide. And you couldn't do that if you wanted to. So read his story and what happened and why he was taken out. But I can name a bunch of other people. Bob Dean was a really important person in the UFO world. Ed Grimsley, who was a good friend of mine, he was at all the UFO conferences filming UFOs every night with the people. He had like 6 infrared cameras, and he would bring the people out at nighttime and watch the UFOs. If you can afford an infrared camera, I wish I could. Anybody out there want to get me one, please, and I'll put you all the videos of UFOs you want. But if you look through them for an hour, and I promise you, 4th generation will be the best you can get. And they're about $3,500 right now. But you can see everything. You put them on, you're going to see ships and everything you could possibly imagine in an hour.
Or is you posting now because there's so much fraudulent stuff out there. People don't think it's real, or people aren't interested, or they don't understand what they're looking at.
But you know what's bad? These millionaires, they got money to buy the best cameras. They could see anything they want and all that, and they still rather go at like Mr. Musk. He's the 3rd richest person on the planet, and he comes out with an ignorant statement, people, ignorant, saying aliens are not here. What planet is he on? Is he on some
Bigelow would disagree with him.
Everybody would that's in the UFO world, and anybody that knows or had an experience would say he's an asshole.
That, Sasha? Sorry?
No, I'm just saying he's a liar.
Well, he's delusional if he believes that, first off. I mean, he's putting satellites around the planet. He's doing all this stuff, and he doesn't know aliens are real? That's pretty pathetic. Unless he's working with them. See, there's a bottom line. When people do things, especially that have lots of money, all right, there's an underlying motive why they do it. Why Mr. Gates is buying all the land, all the farmland in the United States for a reason. They're going to be forcing synthetic meat on people. So there's reasons for everything they're doing, whether they're good or bad, we don't know, or most people don't know. They're not willing to search out the evidence. People, get aware. Spend some time on research, not listening to these people, because you're not learning much. Go on research. Type underground cities. Find out people. Jesse Ventura was down in one.
You
Get
need
in
to
touch
watch
with him.
some of the old gentlemen, like I'm talking like 40s, 50s, early 60s, some of the old stuff. I know that people say about new stuff all the time, but you need to watch the old interviews and actually listen to what these people are telling you. And this is back then. I do apologise for that reverb. I've got nothing else on.
Well, hopefully, I don't know. I'll get in touch with the company this time. I've been giving my laptop to my partner because she's been doing workshops and she needs the computer now. But I should use that because I keep blacking out on this computer, but I don't black out on my laptop. So whatever's going on with this computer, I can't fix it. I tried everything. I mean, I went through AOL, I went through StreamYard, I went through everybody I could to see what the problem is.
Yours is coming out now when I talk. It's I can hear the reverb. And when Sasha was talking earlier to me, I could hear the reverb.
But I'm talking about my blackout every 10 minutes. I go into that disappearing mode.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So on another note then, Tommy, so what is it? Are we going to place bets or speculate? What exactly is it the US government are going to release? And are they going to release it all in one day? Is it going to be like a structured step release, or is it going to be pre-release, or how is this going to go down?
Sasha, you can get on this. We're going to put up a bet.
Uh-oh.
All right. And we're going to bet what we think the government's going to release. All right. You go first, Tina.
Thanks, Tommy. Well, I think people are going to be disappointed. I don't think they're going to really. There's no way that human beings are going to allow other human beings to be captured and tortured by aliens or even other human beings. That's going on. It's proven to be going on. They've had interviews that's going on. So release, I think it's just only official air for like pilots. Is it actual films they're releasing or just forms, or what is it they're releasing?
They're supposed to release all their UFO files. All right.
So files and films are different.
Well, no, yeah, it could be. It's words, and they released files a long time ago, but they blacked out. They blacked out a lot of the things.
And is there a date? Do they go back so far, or do they cut off in the 1980s, 2000s? When's the cut-off date?
By law in the United States, they have to release anything that's 25 years old. Okay. By law.
So you talk of just the turn of the century, then, just before like late 1990s.
Right. So guess what? That's a lot of UFO information every which way.
Right. So I'm gonna bet £5 that they're only gonna release 30% of the real information that's probably been redacted.
Okay.
Cases.
No information. What do you think they're going to actually release to say? I mean, a file is a file, but are they going to say we have been working with aliens? Are they going to say we have been fighting with aliens? No. Are they going to say aliens eat people? Are they going to say aliens control people? Are they going to say any of that?
No. I think they will say there's an existence of UFOs because that's been proven, and the Navy have been now releasing files on that. So I think they're going to say, yes, UFOs exist. No, the little green men don't fly them. If they do say that they have alien bodies, they're all admitting UFOs are real. So it's what is flying them. And if UFOs are real and they're not from Earth, they're being made somewhere else. So it is intelligent life. So when they say, yes, there's UFOs, yes, UFOs are real. Well, UFOs aren't of this world. They're intelligently under control. They're built and go so fast, and they're not made of human technology. Well, hold on. If little green men ain't flying them, I don't think Tina Bird in her back garden is making multi-billion-dollar tic-tac UFOs to fly in the US airspace and shoot off into space with the technology and skills and acquired materials. Couldn't do it even if I wanted. So, and the Earth's not big enough to hold that type of energy. So No, I don't think you're going to get that. I think you're going to get yes, UFOs are real. But then again, the question should still be asked, well, if UFOs are real, where they're being made. I don't think you're going to get declassification of, yes, UFOs are being made. I think you're going to get declassification of old files like Roswell files, maybe Dulce files, what's happened there. Again, about Philip Schneider, is it, and the Delta
Yes,
Force when he was
mhm.
killed. There's other loads of other things and other crashes and recoveries. Recoveries would be interesting. And there's been thousands of people, military people, non-military personnel that have recovered materials and have seen what's going on. I'd like to see a declassification of interagency documents like the CIA or the FBI or the DOD or the DIC, anyone like that, or the Navy's working with the British government or the German government over collections of data of UFOs or
Well,
abductions. That's what I'd like to see.
all right, Sasha, you're next.
Just remember when Congress gave notice to these departments, they had 180 days to do all that and get ready. You don't think in those 180 days they were changing files and,
Sasha, they've been losing files since Roswell. I mean, they lost files from one day in evidence saying it was a crashed UFO. They lost it by the next day and come up with a different story.
Right.
They don't need years. They can do it every night.
So what I'm getting to is I don't think they're gonna say it. They're just gonna have a lot of redacted, some truth, but mainly false information.
All right.
Tommy?
All right. Now, I have a slightly different viewpoint. I think now we're going into the New World Order. And basically, that's supposed to happen within 4 years, roughly.
Oh, boy.
All right. That's UN Agenda 21. U.S. is involved. There's many countries involved with that. What that means, we're going to become one country. For that to happen, we have to shift our whole government systems in all the parts of the world. Who would be in control of all this together? Are we going to have some superpower being like Musk leading the world? But then again, who's controlling Musk? Why is he doing the things he's doing? Is he working for, I would say, Satan? Is he working for an alien race? Who is in control of his consciousness? Because he sure isn't. All right. And if he is, I don't know what he's working for and what Ed means that he wants to happen to the planet. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing in the UFO world. If they say one UFO is real, meaning not made on Earth, they already opened every door they possibly could, meaning there are aliens out there. Now, Laura Eisenhower, the granddaughter of Eisenhower, knows very little, but she says a very lot. She has no proof of what she says. I mean, I did a show with her. She wouldn't say one word to me. Rebuttal whatever I said. She would agree with everything I said, even though I know she doesn't agree with one thing I say. But she said she went to Mars with the president. I mean, the things that she says is like Bishargo. He went to Mars with the president. All these people that went to Mars with the presidents and stuff. So can they say one thing about that? These other people are. If it was true, you don't think they would be dead?
So you would like to see presidential files released?
No, they have to come out. But see, it's not the president. Truman made Majestic 12. Majestic 12 would have to come out and admit what they have done with the UFO world for the past 70 years.
President Ronald Reagan was read into quite a lot, apparently, I believe.
Well, the one president that was truly trying to bring it out was Kennedy. And he was killed because of that. And so was Marilyn Monroe.
Didn't JFK also file a UFO report as well, didn't he? An official report?
He was working on that when he was killed. The same Marilyn Monroe, the week before she released the file that Kennedy told her, she was killed. Oh, no, she committed suicide.
Please call my phone. I can't find it.
So here's the thing. When all these things happen, let me just make a quick call. I got to call phone up.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sasha, I've got a Tommy, please stay on mute. It's okay. I've got a question for both of you. So your viewpoint first, Sasha. If I'm saying a big if they turn around and say UFOs are real, which the Navy, US Navy, has already come out and said The UFO footage is authentic. Therefore, they're saying UFOs are real. Now, what I would like to know is if when on this 1st of June, this information is released, and they say, and they do by chance turn around and say, yes, UFOs are real. We have made contact with another race. Now, I would like to know, first thing I would like to know, first 5 questions I would ask, and I expect every country or person in the world would want to know is, how was contact made? Who is in control of that? What agreements was reached? Why was that agreement reached? What defense do we have? If we do have a defense against this, or is that why we went along with it? Are we really slaves in our own world? What do they gain from it? What do we gain from it? And what about abductees? Sasha.
You want to answer all those 5 questions?
Answer one or two. One or two. What was the first one you'd pick? And what would you want? What would you expect them to say? What would you want to know?
If it was me and they came out with information, my main concern would be who is running the world.
So who is in control? My first question. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else would you want to ask them then?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
What else would you like to ask them if they turned and said that? What is the one question you would expect your senator to ask on your behalf?
Boy, I have no idea.
I think people will. I think the world's not ready for it. Well, yes, they are ready for it, but they won't know. Like, I'll just question Sasha. It is out of the blue. People don't know, or they're not aware. These are questions that have been on my mind for quite a while, only because of my awareness of what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
These are things I would expect the government, when they release this, to have in a lineup. So, not news tonight. 1st of June, we've released this information. This is who's in charge. Don't worry. This is the agreements we reached. This is never going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Tommy, what's the first 5 questions you would ask, and what would you want to know out of those questions?
I don't have questions to ask the government because I know the truth. So when people say, well, what about this? I know their mission. I know their goals. I was an alien before I came to a body in this lifetime. So what they want is their agenda, and it has to do with every animal or creature's agenda.
So again, what do they benefit? It would be, what would they benefit, and what was the agreement?
All right. Certain race wants to move on this planet. Another race doesn't want anybody on this planet. So when Mr. Putin said 2 races want to destroy the planet, he didn't say what 2 races they were.
Yeah.
We already had at least 3 major wars in space with alien races. Everybody, do you hear that? You don't have to believe it. I saw 2 ships get blown out of the sky here in Hawaii. All right. I talked to a person from the underground base in Hawaii. They said they've been shooting the drones, the scout ships down. But the motherships will be here. Wait. The motherships will be here within 2 years, and that was a year ago. A year or 2 years from now. All right. So that alone. Go ahead.
A few years ago, one of these events where they took me, the one that knows me said that they were leaving, and I asked them why they were leaving. He said, we're leaving soon, and they said, but the others will come. They're not supposed to come here, but they do. So why aren't they supposed to come here? Who are they? And what will they be doing when they come here? And why aren't they supposed to come here?
Here's the thing. People say, well, ancient history, ancient aliens, and they built the pyramids. They don't talk about the wars, why they're not here now.
Yeah.
Why no race is here now other than us? Because, you have multiple races trying to take over a planet, like the freaking Spanish and the British trying to take over the United States.
But there's been one consistent thing from humanity. On every single continent, they've always buried history. They buried the bits of the pyramid. They buried artifacts. They buried temples. They've backfilled them in deliberately. What does that tell you?
On the same token, with out of place artifact, all right, which aliens can do, means they take an object from the future or the past and put it in a different time zone. And they've been doing that. My friend had one personally, and he was trying to sell it for $1 million. But there's many of them that cannot fit into the time frame where it was created. So that means they were using time travel much longer, way before we were we were even here.
Yeah, they
So
put
getting
you in a
back to these
bubble.
races, they're all fighting. I mean, I'll take you back as far as I know on this planet. In Atlantis, the people of Atlantis, which we were people, there was 9 races here, were the most spiritual race of beings that ever lived on this planet. I just famous speaker said, well, no, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the shamans would tear apart the aliens. No, that's not true either, because they didn't. The most spiritual people were the Atlantean people. And when the Greys and the reptilians and everybody else started coming down to play with this planet, including the Anunnaki, but see, they took that name from people. So they combine, they take aliens, they take demons, and they put it all together, gods and little gods, and they change words for everything. But when that was happening, all these races that were here were destroyed.
But one thing again in common, mankind said they always came from the sky.
Well, that's the fact. Nobody was, the original race of any one of us wasn't born on planet Earth. 9 races came from other universes. 9 colors. We were all 9 colors. We were never one color. And to say the white race is the most ridiculous statement, the same as the black race. And I say there's only shades of brown, from light brown to dark brown. There's no other colors.
If you guys saw an alien like I've seen up close, that's what the white race. I don't know why people call them grey. They're like glowing white beings.
But there's 5 color grays, though. I mean, there's different races of grays.
I think greys. Yeah, I think people not misidentify them. It's because in the dark, without a light on, they kind of look grey from a distance. But when they're close to you, and I mean, like they're this close to you,
right?
And like the light's above you, and they're there, or they're in your room. This thing that was like, it's like beyond milk bottle white. It was like glowing white. So for people to say that they're greys, I mean, we're not a white race. If you saw one of these things, that's the white race.
Tina, do you know, like when we go underwater, the further down we go, our blood changes color. All right, the blood changes color as the deeper we go. When they come into this atmosphere, into this condition, blood changes. So maybe their skin color is changing by that alone. When they get into, like, people, if we go in a spaceship, when we're traveling at the speed of light, going through the universe, we would change. Our body would crumble up. So
that's why I think they put you in these bubbles, these orbs. But when I was in one, when they showed me, I'm not sure if they put me in a bubble and took me there, or they put me in a bubble and they move you through. I don't know if you want to say time or distance or whatever it is they put you through. But when they put me through this thing and they took me to this planet, I was still in this bubble. But when they took me underwater, something you just said, when they shot along and went down on this embankment thing, straight in the water, we was deep under the water, nothing changed for me. But I could see inside the other bubbles that were there. And they were like these, they looked bigger and taller, slightly different, but they look yellow. Inside these bubbles, they look like a yellowish colour. Like a glowing white beam would look, but they look. Now, I wasn't sure if that's a tinge of the water or the tinge of the bubble, but from distance from where I was looking, they looked a tiny bit yellow.
Oh, that's kind of. See, we have to take what one person says as truth. I mean, in general. And what happens is if one person can convince a group of people, that group of people convinces a bigger group of people, it's accepted. So like you said, the word gray, I mean, usually at nighttime, and you're not going to see color. You don't see the color of the moon because we don't have the light on and we're not there. So we always assume the moon is just white. We assume, or yellow, whatever. I mean, we assume things about grays, but the shading and darkness. A friend of mine, I was talking to her on Skype, this alien came right up to the door, and I'm staring at it. It was multiple colors. It was the weirdest looking thing, but it was multiple colors.
Did you say, hey, what's up?
Well, no, when she went to the door, it ran away. We watched it run. But many pictures that she shot and we saw aliens running. So
I tell you what, they're so for the little fragile bodies, they're so quick. They are these little things are stupendously fast. I mean, when I was on the Travelator belt thing, this thing ran down this corridor and jumped up at me, and it was like a couple of seconds. It was so fast.
Well, all the so-called things is like they don't actually touch the ground when they run. All right,
Well, I was
on
looking
planet
down.
Earth, when they're on planet Earth and they're running around. But then again, a friend of mine got the footprints of them. We can't release any of this stuff because it's just not ready for anybody to believe it or accept it.
Hey, I want to see it.
They're all going to say, "I can't. I'm not allowed to."
Hoping on the 1st of June you'll see it. Hopefully on the 1st of June they'll probably break the internet.
And I'm sure.
I want to
Wait,
see it.
I'm sure they don't have some of the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Or my friend does, because we filmed it. So if I
I'm
film
hoping
something,
they're going to release photographs. I'll be disappointed if it's just like redacted.
statements.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I think we're going to be sadly just. I'll be surprised if it isn't.
If they're only going to say it, they could come out with a document saying that aliens were accepted in 1918. I mean, they knew way back then that there was aliens here. I mean, they could say anything. But again, does that mean anything to anybody?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you believe the Emerald Tablets, you believe the Sumerian Tablets, you believe the Urantia and all these words, if the government says something, they might just believe it. So we have a problem because people believe writings, and usually when they're old, they believe them more. Well, this was written 2,000 years ago. And where are they today? What did they accomplish then? Nothing. So, time, you were talking about time. They're trying to hide time. And now, because of the so-called black and white issue, they're trying to eliminate all the U.S. history. I mean, they're going to erase Britain and England from our calendar.
We're not even going to go into that. I think they should spend more time not trying to change the past, but trying to change where everybody is today. But we're not talking about that today. While I've got you here, we don't have long left. Tommy, get your Geiger counter out. Sasha, have you got your Geiger counter yet?
I do not. I've been too busy.
Did you order it yet, Sasha?
Right, so just so everyone knows, there is a Geiger counter, guys. I bought this on Amazon. There it is there, and if you turn it over, that is what is on the back. I don't know if you can all see that, guys. There you go. Me and Tommy have the identical ones from Amazon. So just like an on and off button there, lock button.
I got mine from Wish.
So there you go. So you turn it on, guys. Just press that button there. It comes on. The top one is electrical magnetic field. So that's volts per meter. And the bottom one is micro Teslas that measures radiation. So this test is electrical magnetic field, and the bottom one is radiation. So Tommy's goes up when it goes close to the screen. I'm holding mine near the screen because I have a smart TV.
My screen's reduced.
Yeah, your screen gives off a dangerous amount of EMF.
So Tommy, hold yours up to the screen. So Tommy's on the. There you go. So there you go. So we're both reading 0 at the moment. Now put it towards your head, Tommy. So I'm going to come closer. I'm coming closer to. I'm trying to get near the bloody thing. Starts beeping. So there you go. I've got one there, 1 volt, but no radiation at the moment. I'm going to try this side so you can see better. So I'm going to start from my neck. Tommy's he's flickering now. I can't see what it is. Nothing at the moment.
It's off again. It's amazing how.
I was beeping earlier.
Yours is off too right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's weird. Mine went up when yours went up. Look, mine went up when yours went up.
No, mine's nothing now.
Mine's back to 0 again too.
Mine was beeping earlier. How is that possible?
Mine was up to 140. Now it's down to 0.
Yeah. Tina, you should be happy you're radiation free today.
I wasn't 10 minutes ago. It was beeping like that, mate. Hold on. I'm going to do the rest of my body. Hold on.
Mine was blinking a little.
Nothing. Not at all. Nope.
I mean, if you look at my glasses, you can see mine blinking.
Yeah, you're blinking. I don't know from what though, Tommy.
I'm blinking. No, that's this. But when I turn it that way, it's still blinking.
Nothing.
All right.
No.
But I never was radioactive like Tina was. She becomes radioactive.
10 minutes ago I was beeping. Now nothing. Wake up tomorrow morning. We'll have another go. Nothing. This time last week it was beeping like a good one, wasn't it? There you go. So today I am radiation free. Apart from 10 minutes ago, I had a load of EMF field. Now nothing.
So Tina, we're running out of time, so do your
Okay.
thing.
So guys, I'm Tina Brown here in the UK. I have 2 books. There you go. This is The Guardians of the Light and The Brotherhood of the Night. Bit chunky. You can buy that on Amazon Kindle, and it's quite a good price. You can buy it on there. If you want it signed, you ever see me, bring it along anywhere you ever see me, and I'll sign it for you. You can buy that on Amazon and on Kindle and on download, I believe. This is on Amazon and it's on Amazon Kindle. It's a short story. This one's classed as erotica. There I am. That's me, T.A. Barry. Picture of me on the back, and that's my IBSN number. You can get this on Kindle, and you can get it on download. And if you have a Kindle package or Amazon package with Kindle, you can get it for free. So on the deal they do, or it's like $4.99 UK money, and you can have that. I've just started under Tommy's guidance. He's asked me to write my book. I have, in fact, started writing it. I'm getting in there. I'm just going to do a frame and build it up, build it up, build it up. I'm hoping that's going to be out late September, October this year, maybe January the following year. Sorry?
Do you remember your early childhood?
Yes and no. I do remember, I remember holding my dad's hand and crossing the road.
Oh, you don't remember everything. I mean, you don't remember all little details and stuff.
No, I remember growing up and being a kid. I remember my bedroom. I remember, I remember going to school. I remember having an animal bar with my brother when he was about 4. I remember sitting on the edge of a pram when I was about 2 or 3. So my mum had one of those Silver Cross prams. My brother was laid in the back. My other brother was sat next to me. My other brother was laid asleep underneath on the rack.
No, when I asked that, I said, how far back in your book are you going to start?
I'm going to start at the bit, everything came to a head one day, and I pondered about, I needed help. At the time, there was issues going on, and I needed answers. Things got so bad with my medical situation and my partner and that, and I needed answers. So I reached out to, I had to reach out quite a lot. I've never been in the field. So I eventually got around to Gary Heseltine from UFO Truth magazine, put me in touch with David Hodrin from the Birmingham UFO group. And he said, you need to make an abduction. And I'm like, what the hell kind of thing. Anyway, I spoke to him. I was on the phone to him for about 3 hours. And he's like, no, this is what it is. And he talked me through it. And then I told him about experiences. I remember things that had happened, all my medical things. And he's like, yeah, all that's evidence. Keep it all. So I've kept it all and I spoke about it. But my book is going to start at the point where I contacted him and then work my way back. So to what I remembered as a child, like the light, the orange light above my legs, like a grid, and then burning my bits of these legs when I was laid on this table. I like flashbacks when I was older, them drilling my teeth. That was terrible. That was awful. Like got scoop marks on my body, all the markings from my neck on this machine, the different creatures I've seen, and like the cloning program, whatever it is that they do, they're taking people's DNA, they're taking blood, they're taking, they're taking bits, they try to take your soul, whatever it is they're after inside you, something they can take out and change. So everything is going to be kind of in there. And then when I finish writing the book, I'm going for hypnotic regression and hypnotic therapy to confirm my story this year. So my account, and I'm going to go back to the last 2 things I remember. I'm going to see how I feel after, because I'm not sure how I'm going to feel, and I don't want to remember things I hadn't even remembered as well. That's another worry for me. It is, people think, oh yeah, you think your luck's in because you've been abducted. It's not funny. It's scary as hell. People have lost their lives. You don't know what's going to happen. You really think that you're going to die. You think this is it. You're completely helpless. People don't understand what it's like to be in that situation. And believe me, it's awful. So everything's going to be in that, and we'll see how that pans out. So when I do my regression, I'll only going to do 1 or 2 steps at a time, and then see how I feel, and then give it a bit of time, and then go back and do a bit more. But that's how I'm hoping it's going to work out. So that will probably be, I'm hoping they're going to say, no, Tina, you made it all up. You're mad, and that's it. But I'm more worried about what I haven't remembered, and that really scares me. But with that, Sasha, carry on. Sorry, I was going to say something.
No, I was just curious. I wanted to ask you: Are you? Do you know if you're RH negative?
Yes, I am. I'm ORH negative, by the way.
Okay, interesting.
So I found that out. I had a surgery when I was 18, and I had a reaction to the anaesthetic. And then they said, "Oh, you have these allergies, blah blah blah. You don't know what's wrong." I had an ectopic pregnancy that ruptured. And then they said, "Oh, you should have told us you were rhesus negative, and you could have had this injection." And this, like, I didn't know. Nobody told me. You've had my blood so many times. Then I had to have blood from a bone marrow person. Then because I was rhesus negative, and they had blood from my baby still within me, I had to have the anti-D injection, and that's taken from a bone marrow from someone in the house who's rhesus negative. So, and I can't have anyone's blood, so I have to be careful. I'm not allowed to give blood myself because I've had bone marrow from another rhesus negative person.
Okay.
But I am rhesus negative, but apparently, so I can give blood to everyone else, but I can't have blood from anybody. I don't have antigens in my blood, apparently. So, but yeah, and I only found that out because I had an ectopic pregnancy. So, but since then, I've had two, survived both. I've had loads of other problems, and when I went to have my hysterectomy, they couldn't believe what they found either. So yes, I'm rhesus negative in that way. So yes, any other questions?
I thought from all the UFO stuff in the tales that they're not able to clone RH negative individuals.
Well, from what I saw, they do. When I didn't understand when they were taking, when your lady.
Wait. Who told you that, Sasha?
I just hear from people.
Yeah, people don't know nothing. None of these people.
I can't confirm or deny that. All I can tell you is what I saw, and what I saw was when I was laid on that bench, and they allowed me. One of the first times they allowed me to get up, I had to agree to behave myself. I got up. I felt very drugged. I could taste it in my mouth. Normally, anything I'm given like anaesthetic or sedative, it goes in and it feels warm in my chest, and I can taste it. It tasted bitter. I felt like I was being controlled from behind. And I made my way over to these pods. I could see these black shiny pods. Didn't know what they were. Hundreds of these things in rows. They were looked like metal at first, shiny metal. It wasn't until I got closer. And they looked like these old-fashioned coffee cups, teacups. But do you remember the old dark ones from the 70s that looked like they were black glass? They looked like that. As I got closer, it wasn't until I put my hand on it. And then I could see that there was like a red light in the middle, and they had babies in them. And then I put my hand on it. There was hundreds and hundreds of little girls' voices all in one go. I could hear them. Like, I couldn't hear I couldn't hear anything else in my head. All I could hear was these hundreds of voices. They were all girls, and they were all females from me. And it wasn't until I was yanked back on this table because they wanted to get on with what was ever coming next. And then they bought one of these. They had obviously opened up one of these pods, or they had this baby out of this pod. It looked between 6 and 8 months along. And they had it in a cloth, and they came over to me, and it was me. I held it up at the end of the bed first, and I was on one of the bed, this table, and I looked down my body, and this, as they pulled the cloth back, for a second I looked at it, and I knew it was me. It was me. I freaked for a second. I was horrified at it was me. If this baby was a clone, it was me. It was me as a baby. It was like, it was me, and it was like, she's me. It was me. It was a clone of me. And they're like, yeah. And it was like, over in a second, I was flat back on the bed, on this table, and I'm not sure how much time passed. I couldn't tell you. And when the one that knows me came over here, and I said, what's happened? They said that my reaction had frightened the baby, or they was frightened for the baby's safety, or my reaction frightened the baby. They took it away for safety, and when they brought it back, I had to agree to behave, but I couldn't move. And I said, why do what does she want? And I said, why do I, what's going on? And apparently this baby wanted to know me or bond with me. So like, the only reason she could get that is if she had, I presume, this snapshot. When they held her up, when they come over again, they didn't want to be near me. They perceived me as a threat or danger to her or them. They didn't want me anywhere near it. And as they kind of like held it to me like that, this thing like creature held this baby up to me. She looked me. I was like frozen like this, and they brought this baby like they held it here. It was stood back, and it held it out, and I was like this, literally. I was like that, and this baby looked me in the eyes, and we had our own link. And she didn't say anything. I wasn't getting anything from her at first, and then she said that she'd done something, and I said, she'd taken a picture, and I said, why did you take a picture? I want to see it. Can you show me it? And she showed me this picture in my head. I look goddamn awful. I look like I've been pulled for a bloody bush backwards. My face looked like pinky red. My hair looked a mess. I looked like I've been sweating. I had this like brag on me, which was like down here. I looked terrible, and I'm like, I said, I look awful. And but she also told me, she also showed me in that picture she took, they took my pheromone and hormone levels. They took pictures a lot of my eyes, my heartbeat, my respiratory, everything. It wasn't just a physical image. It was like a psychological image. It was like a medical image, inside out, everything. So everything about life, you smell, you sense, your heartbeat, your pressure, everything was captured in this one in a picture. So in this picture, any picture, you had a picture like this. Just hold a picture up, and in that picture was not only a photograph, but in that photograph was my heart rate, my blood pressure, my pheromones, my hormones, what feelings. They don't understand feelings. If they do, they don't know how to use them, or they don't use them correctly, or they don't have them. But they captured everything in that one moment. And I said, what do you want that image for? She said, to share with the others. I said, others, all the ones that I could hear in the pods were clones of me. They were me at different stages. They were clones of me, and she was sharing that image. It would be in their link, or in their link is like a stream, and in that stream is like another stream that has all their history in it, or all their information. So they would have all my information about me, like when they took me, all the experiments they did to them cloning my babies, or my clones of me, whatever way you want to look at it. But all my information, all my thoughts are in that. And then the babies, my clones, they also had in her head, she had all my memories from being a baby up to the point, I think there was like a cutoff point, like between 2 months or 2 years. I can't quite remember. There was a cutoff point. So she had all my memories up to when I was age 40 something. So they still had all that. And so, you know, they have all that in that one, in the link. So what, not only are they cloning you, they're taking all your physical and mental memories from all your years as a child, all that knowledge, all the feelings, all the information, all the biological data is kept with that picture in that link for them to access. So they could access that or put that in anybody, or unless it is just literally for my coded clones, I don't know, but it's there, and that's what she wanted it for, to share with them when they got them out of the pods. So it is possible, if they're cloning me and I'm O rhesus negative, then they are, you know, and I don't have antigens. Perhaps it's something to do with that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't tell you. But that is all I know and all I remember. So I can't say yes or no, but I can only tell you what I saw and felt at the time.
Yeah. Wow.
So I guess they can. That's my best. That's how.
Right.
So I'm not sure if Tommy's still on. Yeah, I think Tommy's still on there. But I hope that answers your questions. Any more questions before I go?
Yeah. No, but thank you for answering that.
That's the best I could do to my knowledge. Tommy.
Well, Tina, I appreciate you telling us your story. I mean, some people might not have heard it yet, but we'll let her get into it again one time and get into the whole story, because it's hardcore and it's the realest you're going to hear. Mainstream, not, I don't know what happened, I think this and I feel that. And I did say Tina has the proof that I feel is proof enough to prove that she went through the experience, witnesses, evidence, and things like that. which very few people have at any level. So that's why she's on the show with me. But I guess you're going to be leaving us. So until next week, anything important, text me on AOL, because I'm there 24 hours. I don't go into my Facebook and Yahoo and LinkedIn on them every day unless I have
to do the one on the screen, Tommy.
What was that?
Do you want me to email you on the screen?
Oh, you can if you want.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm always on AOL. I go into Skype once in a while. But people, please, she got 2 books out there. Support her. They sound like fun. I mean, it's not about aliens, not yet. The next book hopefully
Guys,
will be.
again, if you guys are in your part of the world, any part of the world, and you like me and Tommy, I know Tommy says he hates speakers, but I think you guys should invite Tommy along to speak, to tell you the truth. If you'd like me to come along, or Tommy to give our opinion, which you probably don't, but if you do, we're here. Please contact us. If you'd like us to attend an event, you can send us tickets, or if you'd like to give tickets out to people on our show, please do so. I've been Tina Bird here in the UK, in Southampton. I'm an ET girl. You can find me on Facebook and on Twitter and on all the other bits and pieces. I don't tend to post much on there. If you have a question from a past show, or you have an answer to one of our questions from a past show, or you're a past guest and would like to come back on, please contact me or Tommy. If we don't know the answer to that question, we can certainly ask other people and try and find out answers to your questions. But to me, Sasha, thank you, and you, Tommy, it's good night from me here in the UK. Good night, gentlemen, and thank you.
It was good talking to you, Tina. You take care.
Good night, Tina.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure, always.
Bye.
All right, now I just want to go over a couple things. Like I said, Tina doesn't like to get in too many different things. Well, I do. I'll jump on anything that I have my experiences in, which is pretty much almost everything. Especially in the inner worlds, which very few people like to talk about, deities, which very few people like to talk about, and all those other words, which I have much experience in. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm not. I'm just a person, and I'm looking forward to going to where I go when I leave this world. And that's where everybody should be looking forward to going. Because when you leave this body, it only gets better. Unless you're a mass killer or anything like that, you'll be back here again.
And you're screwed.
Many people are just attached to coming back here. They like it here.
What was your top 3? Greed, vanity, and I forgot the other one.
My top 3, what?
Attachments, greed, vanity, and something else. I forgot.
It's called lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment. Love. It's 5.
Yep, 5.
But I convert them into what people really want: sex, drugs, cheap thrills, rock and roll, sports. They're the things that keep mind programmed to stay in here, and a fake level of love. So those things keep a person believing and accepting this is the ultimate reality, which it's not, that this reality is important, which it's not. It's only to help you. It's like a stepping stone. Consider Earth kindergarten. It's not like college. You're not attaining any grand awareness. You're not becoming a super being or any of those words. All right. So what I'm trying to say is our mission in life is what we need to discover. And it's not what we're programmed to believe it is. Aliens have their own program because they aren't very spiritual. They don't have a lot of emotions and feelings. So that cuts them off completely from us at so many levels. Sure, they watch us and see how we act and things like that. But it's like saying you watch 2 people in love. If you're standing there by yourself, you're not going to experience the same thing. Mm-hmm. You can't. So it's a hard thing for aliens to understand who and what we really are. And why, when we eat animals, we don't care what they think or feel. So why would aliens care and think about what we think and feel? They don't. They think about what they need. It's always called the word, and I say, what is your agenda? And it's usually based on what they need to survive. Bottom line, you don't need anything else. You don't need love. You don't need toys. You don't need anything.
Hey, Tommy, really quick before I head out, because I got to go. I'm planning on getting the Sands of Time book. What's the author's name again? Before I head out.
Sean David Morton.
Okay, Sean.
Let me see. I had 2 copies. He signed both of my copies, but he's going to re-release it because he split it into 3 parts now. But if you go online, you might be able to get the original book.
Okay.
But they might be charging a fortune. Let me know. Don't spend a lot of money before you buy it, no matter what you do. All right.
Okay.
All right, Sasha. It's been a pleasure having you here. Go do what you got to do.
Yep. Same
And
here,
we'll
Tommy.
catch up again. All right.
I appreciate it.
Take
Thank
it
you.
easy.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, people. Now it's just me. I'm the hardcore person. I'm the rebel. I'm the one. I have my experiences in just about everything. I have never been on a ship off of planet Earth in this reality, in this lifetime, or any of my other lifetimes. Once I came to planet Earth, I stayed here, reincarnating. I've been almost just about everything. I had a red light. Where did it come from? So I'm aware of my lifetimes from Atlantis, and I'm aware of one lifetime before that. All right. I base my truth on all that. I know what's true from that experience. So when people start recognizing their past lives, they can understand what karma they have, what the real truth is for them. It might mean different things to other people if you try to tell them your truth, which I try not to do mine too much. But when it comes to who brought truth here, who brought love here, things like that, it's really important to know because love didn't exist on this planet for a long period of time. After Atlantis was destroyed, love wasn't here up until day 1, meaning AC and BC. All right. Again, people, I want you to do some research. Do the searching of what you want to find out about. If not, come here, ask questions, and we can help you find it if you need other places to find it. But I'm finished what I think the government's going to do. I think they're going to throw, what would be the word? A small token into the UFO world when they release their information. They got to give them something. Something to make them think about it. They're not going to give them everything. I mean, I don't see that possibly happening because they would have to expose what they did and what they allowed to happen, which they really can't do or want to do. So, with that, I'd make a money bet with Tina or Sasha. But it's a month and a week away. So, people, let's see what happens. I mean, there's going to be so much fake stuff coming out. Oh, the government said this. Oh, the government said that. Really? Unless it's U.S. government approved, certified mail, or whatever, however they're going to release it and release it to the world, it's not going to matter because people are going to attack it. Even if they put truth out there, they're going to be attacked for that as well. So we got a really no-win situation going to happen, but if they expose too much, it will blow the world consciousness apart. So with that, people, get ready for the truth one way or another. I'm bringing as much as I can out. Tina's bringing as much as she can out. And as we work together, we'll try to get a little more important stuff out. What you went through. There's no good things at the end of the rainbow in anything that I could tell you or experience or anybody that tries to prove it. At the end of the rainbow, that's going to be good. So, peace, people. Have a good day, good night, good morning, wherever you are, what part of the planet you're on, what world. Information is free, and it should be. Spiritualism should be free, which it isn't. All right? So think about those things. What are you here for? What do you need? Will UFOs, knowledge, and will that, any of that help you move forward in any way? You can be programmed to move forward and believe you're moving forward, but you probably are not. So people, wake up, go out and do some research for yourself, pull up different people, check older people, check younger people. Not all old people are smart. Some of them are going into Parkinson's and dementia and things like that. They're losing their memory. And for them to talk, oh, Tina mentioned Lear. His father invented the Lear jet. Well, I was in his house, and he was talking to me, and he actually said, everybody on planet Earth was abducted and brought to the moon. All right? Everybody. And he said, everybody will be brought back there a second time. Really? Can he prove that? When he says everybody, prove that. People that have credibility can say a lot more of nothingness, like people like Oprah. I've been trying to deal with her for 25 years. I don't know if she's afraid to talk to me. They're keeping her protected from me, whatever the story is, the dark side, whatever, wherever she is right now in the dark side. I mean, she works with Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle, believes she's karmaless, and she has no ego. I have an ego. Everybody has an ego. And we need to use it, otherwise we'd be nothing. But when the ego overpowers your consciousness, is a different story. With that, people, till next time, send this link to anybody you can or everybody you can. Let them listen to what we get into. Come on, we ask questions. I'm not hiding anything, neither is Tina. We openly talk about what you want if you ask a question. All right. Thank you for being here. Till next time.